ahead and start letting people in. Oh, okay, good. And I need to make sure the chat is working.
We already have some people in the wings.
Yeah. People coming in. Like I said, it takes a while for people to file in. Hi, Lynn. Lynn is from New York. Jessica. Emma, these are people I know. So if you guys could, we're just kind of waiting to start. We'll start in a minute or so. As always, if you want to just put in the chat where you're calling from, I love that. Heidi, I think, is coming in from Hawaii, but I'm not, if I remember correctly, maybe not. Anyway, go ahead and just make sure the chat is working. If you want to just put in the chat where you're joining us from. And then, because it is 5 o'clock.
Oh, I went to college in Canton, New York. How interesting. St. Lawrence University.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start live streaming to YouTube so my YouTube people don't get mad at me for being late. Everyone knows if I'm a little late, if I'm much too late, then people start texting me.
That's cool, Emma. That's wonderful. Another upstate New York person.
That's Lynn, right?
Yeah, Saratoga.
Lynn lives near Heather.
Oh, wow.
That's how we know each other, through Heather.
Yeah, and I take it that's the women's group you're talking about, is Heather Circle, or there's
yeah
wonderful
we
group.
have a number of them. Okay, so I think we're ready to start, and I think pretty much everyone who's on the call knows who we are. I'm Judy Kidd. I'm the president of the Foundation for Mind Being Research, which was founded in 1980, so 43 years ago, by scientists and healers and artists who are really interested in the nature of consciousness and exploring that and what it means as our consciousness evolves. Our website is fmbr.org. And you can check us out there. All of our talks are available on our YouTube channel, which is FMBR TV. So if you just go to YouTube and check those out, you'll be able to see this presentation, and you will be able to see everything we've done in the past, pretty much everything we've done in the past. So I want to welcome Mare Cromwell. I'm so excited to have you here, Mare. I first came across Mare's work in the spring when I heard about this kind of global grid apology to Indigenous peoples ceremony that was happening. And you may have seen that I put it out on the FMBR newsletter because it really called to my heart. And so Mare organizes these, but I'll tell you a little bit about her. She is the founder and executive director of the Great Mother Love Way. She's the humble servant to Mother Gaia and Mother's spiritual counsels. As an internationally known Gaia Mystic and High Priestess, visionary healer, and award-winning author, she's committed to help birth the new earth. Some call her a medicine woman. She initiates and co-weaves an annual spiritual global grid of ceremonies per Mother Gaia's request. The 1,000 Goddesses Gathering Global Grid, which is coming up in October, and hopefully we'll talk about as well, because we're really excited about that. In addition, she organized the Sacred Balance Global Grid in March of 2022. These unified fields of ceremony offer deep healing to Mother Gaia and all of her sacred seen and unseen ones, all to lay the groundwork for the full birthing of the new earth. Prior to her surrender to Mother Gaia, Mare received a master's degree in natural resources from the University of Michigan, coordinated an international environmental education network, consulted with environmental nonprofits, and ran a sacred gardening business. So always connected with the earth. Mare, welcome. We're so glad to have you here, especially since you just got back from Europe not too long ago. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really an honor to be here with your group and to see all these new names. I wish I could see all your faces, but sending love to all of you. So thank you for having me be part of this, Judy. A little bit more about my background with Mother Gaia. I had no idea when I was younger that I was going to become a Gaia mystic. And what happened was in late May of 2012, I was diagnosed with lymphoma. And I was freaking out, as you can imagine, to get a cancer diagnosis. But I'd already made a commitment to meet an Algonquin medicine man. He had asked me a couple of weeks before to do a ceremony with him for Gaia, for Mother Gaia. And the reason he asked me was because Gaia had requested this, and she wanted just the two of us to do the ceremony. And she had said to him with this initial request that this was going to be healing for her. And we didn't know what that meant. And I'd already had many years of doing environmental work. I had been apprenticed with a Cherokee medicine woman for 14 years prior to that. So I already knew my life was to serve Mother, but I had no idea where this was going to go at that point. So when I got this diagnosis, I was freaking out, but I knew I still needed to be part of this ceremony, that I was going to be there. So I drove up to the outskirts of New England and met this Algonquin medicine man. And we did this ceremony, just the two of us, in a huge forest. And he said to me just prior to the ceremony starting that he was going to be bringing Gaia's energy and conscious into my energy body, but he didn't know how we were going to disconnect. And the only thing I could say to him in that moment was, I'm not worried. Whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. And so we did the ceremony, and right at the very end, Mother said to me point blank, and I could hear her voice so clearly in my consciousness. She said, if you surrender to me to the extent I will ask you to surrender, I will help you heal from the cancer without the doctors. And I was like, I'm there. Yes, a big emphatic yes. I mean, it's always scary. You don't know. It's terrifying. You don't know what the doctors are going to want you to do, what your body's going to have to go through. And I'm a very sensitive person already. So whatever drugs they want to give me or chemotherapy, I knew was going to be pretty harsh on my system. And so when I said yes, then things started happening really fast in some very wild and crazy ways. And one of the things was Mother sent the whales and the dolphins to me on the spirit plane to invite me to go to the ocean. I was living in Maryland at the time. And on the way to the ocean, I filled my tank up full, little VW Golf. And when I got back on the highway, headed toward the Atlantic coastline, the car's gas gauge stayed on full for 110 miles. And I was like, this is really weird. And I was kind of freaking out a little about that because I thought I was going to have a mechanics bill, and I was living on my savings at the time, writing another book. And then it started to go down normally after 110 miles. And Mother and I are talking the whole time, but when it started to go down normally, I was like, you must be doing this, aren't you? And she said, this is so you can trust me. Yes, I'm taking care of you. And so I've experienced so many miracles, magic, whatever you want to call it, where Mother's had my back. And this has been a full-on surrender. It still is. And what happened when I got to the coastline, I was at Chincoteague and Astig Island, Barrier Island on the Atlantic shore there in northern Virginia. Mother said to me very late one night in the hotel room, she said, I want you to put your other book aside. I want you to write messages from Mother Earth Mother. She gave me the title. She gave me all the chapter headings. And she gave me the first message, which went into the book, not as the very first one, but it was a message to us women, human, two-leggeds. And I could go on and on. The cancer was gone by the late fall 2013. My doctor was like, how did you do this? Because I'd been avoiding him, and trees were offering me healings. So anyway, so I've had for the past 12 years now, 11 years, 12 years, yeah, 11 years, just ongoing conversations with Mother. And she asked me to put out that first book, Messages from Mother Earth Mother. Then right before I got the CT scan, which said all the cancer was gone, she woke me up at 5 a.m, which is her way of really getting my attention, and said that she wanted me to write the Great Mother Bible. And I really balked at that one because I didn't think I was in any way qualified to write a book with the word Bible in the title and then Great Mother also. But Mother just kept on saying, you're the one, all you need to do is listen. So this has been quite an adventure, and it continues to be. And so in tuning in with Mother about what she wants me to say tonight or this afternoon, depending on your time zone, there are a number of things that she gave me little insights about. So I'll just go right into that. The first is that, first of all, I realized something. I was going to start with ceremonies, so let me do that now, because whenever I do any events, I always call on Mother and the spirit teams. So bear with me. Oh, I am that I am, humbly calling on the Creator, great mystery source, and the Creatrix, the womb of creation of our universe. Please bless us here, this beautiful sacred group of people. Please bless us, hold us in sacred space whole. I am that I am, calling on Mother Gaia, whole Mother, whole Mother. Please bless us and hold us in sacred space. Please help the words flow out of me of your wisdom, your teachings that you wish us to hear. I am that I am, humbly calling on all the spirit teams, all the guardians who support this work that I've surrendered to for Mother within the Great Mother Love Way, projects, courses, etc. Welcoming all you beautiful sacred ones, please hold us in sacred space. May everyone here within this circle, within this sacred group, feel Mother's love. May you feel her blessing and that she is here with us. Oh, thank you, beautiful ones. Oof, there was an energy shift there. So the first thing Mother wants me to say is that, hello, she's here. And what she means by that is that we have long forgotten, most of us within the Western culture, that she exists. And she is an incredibly powerful spiritual being who is our planetary caretaker. Her role is very, very significant within and around the planet. She actually is not the first planetary caretaker we've had. The planet has gone through 5 other ones. She's the current one, which is the 6th one. There are very powerful spiritual councils that exist both on the planet and off planet that coordinate the shifting of the planetary caretakers when a new one is meant to come in, and then the one that was there before then shifts out. It has a lot to do with the planetary shifts that have been going on since the planet first was created. It also has to do with various dynamics on the planet and what the planet's been going through. And Mother source from, and I call her Mother, so you're going to hear me say that a lot. Mother sources from another planet that is a kind of a training ground, gestation zone for spiritual beings who become planetary caretakers. These are very powerful beings, very highly evolved beings. That particular planet has reached full ascension. I can't tell you how long ago. I don't have a sense of the time. So she has come from a place, so to speak, where they already had reached like the full essence of what our new earth is going to be when we fully manifest it. She does actually have parents. Spiritual beings do give birth to other spiritual beings. I don't know a whole lot about her history. Now, I'm going to share something that's kind of mind-blowing right now. She actually has a sacred union partner. She has a divine masculine partner. And these beings don't need names. They're known on the spiritual realms by their spiritual frequency, their vibration. But for the sake of me working with this wonderful one, and I teach other people about him, I call him Guy, and I just spell it G-U-Y. Because Mother Gaia has this sacred union partner, a divine masculine one, who is also incredibly powerful, this makes her work, their work together, exponentially far more powerful. It's like 1 + 1 = 2000. That's a bad analogy, but something along those lines. So Guy, her partner, would love for everyone to know about him and honor him as much as we honor Mother. But it's a process getting that word out. And the interesting thing is, all right, Mother, do you want me to go there? No, she's saying I don't need to. No, I will also share this, which is also out there, is that Mother and Guy have an offspring. They have a daughter. And she goes by the name, she was given the name Geodesica, because for those who can see energy, she takes on the form of a geodesic shape. She is a very powerful being who only was, quote unquote, born back in the summer of 2012. She's off on her own right now. She is going around the planet activating all sorts of areas. She's like a full-on way shower and activator for the new earth energetics. They all are, but Geodesica has a very special role with this. So Mother is calling us all back to her heart, calling us to connect with her heart. And if there's time at the end, I would like to lead us through a very brief meditation to connect with her heart. It's a wonderful short meditation. There's a longer version on my website. And when I was tuning in with her earlier, like, Mother, what is it you want to have come forward tonight? She started to just say, your heart, your heart. So I'm going to be quiet for a moment and really tune in and allow Mother to speak through me to the best of my capacities. My beloved, beloved children, if you only knew how much I loved you, if you only knew how many of us on the spirit planes here on earth and beyond the earth love you. You are immensely powerful beings here on earth. It's time for all of you to wake up to this. I want to speak to your hearts. Your hearts are not just an organ within your body, and many of you already know that. Your hearts are conduits of energy. And all of you have the potential to completely clear your hearts of your woundedness, of any density, of whatever it is that came from your ancestral lines, whatever it is that came from your upbringing, whatever it is that came from your previous incarnations. All of you have the capacity to clear this woundedness and to beam from your hearts, to live from your hearts, emanating the purest, purest energy. This is my invitation to all of you. This is my request to all of you. There are so many watching and supporting me and all of us from off planet. They are eager to have the human hearts be cleansed and healed and woken up again. There was a time early on in your incarnations, in the history of humans on our sacred earth here. There was a time when you lived from this purity. It was a time on the planet where you knew the oneness then. Your ancestors are the ones who know this. At that time, your gifts were so wide open. You could see so much spiritually. You could hear, feel, taste so much spiritually. You were dancing in a beautiful, beautiful way of creation, way of co-creation. With everything that was on the planet. You could speak with the stones. You could hear the stones. You could see the nature spirits. You danced with the nature spirits. There was so much joy on the planet at that time. And this is what we're moving toward. But the biggest gift that you have is your love from your hearts. And to truly focus on healing your hearts. To shedding any and all woundedness and denser energies is what I'm calling you to do. This is so, so important as the new earth keeps on coming in more and more strongly. And it is coming in full gangbuster these days. And I am so excited with all that is happening on the earth. My heart goes out to all the humans who are suffering. Please don't think that I don't feel you and hear you and see you and know you, because I do. Beyond the human realms, there is incredible, beautiful joy that is just becoming more and more abundant. Sacred grids of energies that are being activated, beautiful beings coming in from off planet, like so many dragon teams. Spiritual beings who have lost their connection with the earth are reconnecting it and supporting all of us with this birthing of the new earth. But I want to come back to your hearts. I want you to feel in your hearts as best as you can my love for you. And know that each one of you are pure. I'm showering so much love on each one of you right now. May you take this in. I am your ultimate mother here, the mother of all here on earth. I love you, love you, love you so much. Part of what I'm calling for you to do is to be incredibly gentle with yourselves. Your Western society is not very good at self-compassion. The more you can forgive yourselves and forgive others, the more you're opening your hearts up and shedding your woundedness. You are all such beautiful, beautiful beings. If you only knew how I see you as glowing, beautiful beings, every single one of you. And I'm calling you home to my heart. May you feel my love. So Mother's pulling back a little bit right now. And she's actually encouraging me to do this meditation right now, Judy. So I'm just going to launch into this. It's very brief. And then we'll see where she wants to go from there. This is perfect to do with that message she just gave us. So inviting everyone to be sitting very comfortably wherever you are and to shut your eyes and to take a deep breath in into the depths of your abdominal area. Deep, deep breath in. And then release this breath. And then take another deep breath in, really deep breath. And then gently exhale that breath. And now I invite you to visualize at the very top of your spine a beautiful ribbon of energy that starts to come down your spine all the way down. And it can be any color that comes to you. Could even be rainbow or pink or blue, green, whatever color comes to you, just perfect. Just allow this ribbon of energy to come all the way down your spine, all the way to the point where it reaches your tailbone. And when it reaches your tailbone, I invite you to drop the end of this ribbon of energy directly down to the center of our earth, to Mother Gaia's heart. Send it straight to her heart. Beautiful. And when it reaches her heart, visualize her opening up her heart and grasping the end of this ribbon of energy straight to the very, very core of her heart. That is how much she loves us. She's bringing you right to the very, very center of her heart. Beautiful. And then take another deep breath in and release that breath. And now I want you to bring your attention to your heart chakra, which incorporates your heart also. And feel in your heart all the love and gratitude that you have for Mother. And maybe you haven't thought about this before, but when you think about all the food you've been able to eat, all the delicious, nutritious food, and all the water and other liquids that you've been able to drink, and all the air that you've been able to inhale, which is a gift from the plant kingdom, the oxygen, all of this is actually, these are gifts from Mother. The bones within our bodies are made up of her minerals. Everything we take in comes from her. She has gifted us our bodies here. So feel in your heart your love and gratitude for Mother. And then when you're ready, send this love and gratitude straight down to this energetic connection you have with Mother, to this rainbow cord, this cord of energy, straight from your tailbone, straight to Mother's heart. Send it straight down to her heart. Beautiful. This feeds her so much. You have no idea how much this feeds her. And now I invite you to call out to Mother yourself. And you can even say, hey ho, Mother, this is your earth daughter or your earth son, and then say your name. Mother, please send your love back up this beautiful energetic connection, straight up into my energy body and into my heart. I welcome your love, Mother, so deeply. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then one more time, feel in your heart again the love and gratitude you have for Mother and all that she's gifted you with. And send it down this love cord connection straight to Mother's heart, really anchoring your connection with her and her heart. Beautiful. Okay. And take another deep breath in. And then exhale that breath. And then when you're ready to open your eyes, feel free to do so. If you want to wiggle your fingers a little, wiggle your toes. And just bask in this love for Mother. It's so beautiful. I hope that all of you felt that. So I would love to open this up to questions, and Mother's right here. And Judy, however you want to coordinate this. And if
Okay.
people want to share about what they just felt too, they're welcome to share that.
Yeah, that would be great. If you want to raise your hand, I can unmute you and you can ask a question, or you can kind of discuss what you just felt. Or if you want to type a question in the chat, go ahead and do that. I have a couple of questions for you to get us started. One of the things
Okay.
that you said was this idea that we are, it feels like the clearing of past karma is accelerating. She talked about shedding woundedness. And I mean, you know, if you look at it through one lens, you're seeing a lot of woundedness on this planet. But I get the sense that it's clearing out more rapidly than would normally be. Is that your sense as well?
All right, I'm going to tune in. This is Mother saying, things are becoming exponential. The energies are rising so fast that it's stimulating the woundedness to come forward. It's activating people that so that their woundedness, the denser parts of their soul body, are getting triggered and they're acting out. And all of these people need the ultimate compassion, whether they be political leaders or your neighbor down the road. So many are struggling right now because they don't know how to release this. And yet, the spirit teams that are coming in right now to Earth and around the Earth, and many are actually surfacing from being, they sequestered themselves into the Earth's crust for thousands and thousands of years because the energies has gotten so dense on Earth. They're coming forward. They're resurfacing to support all of you, all the human realms. And there is a lot of shifting that's happening, and there's a lot of openings, and there are a lot of opportunities to tap into the spiritual support that every human needs to heal. But you have to ask for help. There's free will included here because this is a planet of free will. And Mother's kind of chuckling a little bit about that right now. But yes, there is a lot happening that's chaotic, but ask for help. And it doesn't just need to be from other people, but it's really important to ask for help from other people too. But ask on the spirit planes. Everyone has spirit teams. Ask for help, and help will be provided. I hope that answers your question.
I love that so much. And I love that reminder, because that, you know, that whole idea that we're on a planet of free will. I do get that sense that, you know, there's just vast resources available if we will ask for it. And one of the things, I've talked about this in my women's group, so sorry for the people who know this about me. One of my favorite quotes is from Einstein, who said, "You can't solve a problem at the same level of thinking that created it." And one of the things that I think, as we lift our vibration, you know, as we raise our frequency, I just feel like we're going to be able to have access to more of these resources that we have closed ourselves off from, in the form of partnership with nature intelligences and you know, just non-physical beings, in order to create beauty and harmony on this planet. And the reminder to ask is a good one.
Yeah, and these beautiful beings who we share the planet with are extending their hands out to us to pull us forward, to support us. But we have to be willing to accept their help and accept the invitation. And a huge part of it is to and this is one thing Mother, I heard this first from the Cherokee teacher I was with for 14 years, but Mother keeps on saying it again, is like, shed your cultural conditioning, shed the stories, all those fairy tales that you read as a kid, they're truths. These beings exist. The fairies exist. The elves exist. The trolls exist. The brownies exist. The ogres exist. And if we only knew how much they are actually doing to help us already on the spirit planes, taking in a lot of the denser energies that we humans are really good at clustering around ourselves, they're helping us all the time because they're so eager for us to come back home to them, as we're meant to, and we're invited, and we need to, and we are coming back home to Mother. It's just, there's so much intelligence around us that I call it Gaia's web of love, actually. I lead a meditation about that sometimes, where for those who can see energy, there really is this beautiful web of energy between all of these beings, between the trees, between the elves, the fairies, and they do exist. I have friends who can see them and communicate really clearly with them. It's mind-blowing, the kinds of stuff that are going on in those realms. And they're right next to us, you know, they're not way out there, they're next to us, and they're listening right now to this conversation. But there's this beautiful web of energy that is love, because that is the true purest energetic on the planet, which many of these beings never left. It's just we humans kind of we fell into a kind of a bit of a hole. It's a long, complicated story.
We went deep into density, right?
Yeah.
You know,
but we're getting out of it. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that, and I know a lot of people in FMBR, a lot of people have that sense, right? That this is happening, and that they I'm going to say, you know, specifically incarnated with this kind of mission, with this soul mission to help this process along. I'm meeting more and more people who are really clear about that and say, you know, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. I know it's my soul contract, you know, it's like I'm there.
Yeah.
And when I was working on my first book, which is not the two I mentioned, my first book's called If I Gave You God's Phone Number, interviewed all these different people over 7 years. And I was like, why am I doing this book? This is the craziest idea, because I'd been doing this environmental work and I had this environmental career. And then I just dropped it all and became a gardener and this author. And then my Cherokee teacher said, this is your soul contract work. I went, oh, okay. I knew I had to do it. So it's really fun to connect with more people who were all like, we're on mission.
Yeah,
let's dance together.
It really is nice to connect, though, because I think, you know, 20 years ago or whenever, everybody thought they were alone and kind of maybe loony, you know,
right.
What am I doing? It's so nice to just to find your tribe. You mentioned, I wanted to say, I was reading Tanis Hallowell's work, and she communicates with leprechauns, and her leprechaun teacher told her that humans aren't the only ones that are evolving, right? We're all evolving together, and it's this one big project to birth a new planet, really, to birth a new consciousness on this planet.
Yes,
and
true.
Seems like joyful work to me.
You know, I teach a course, year-long course called The Great Mother Love Way. And last night, people were talking about an assignment that I'd given them to really tune into a stone and see what the stone wanted to share with them, or what the stone wanted them to do with it. And it was profound, the experiences people had. And one of the things that came forward was that the stones are evolving even. You know, it's like the energies, if we even knew how much energy is pouring into the planet right now to activate everything across the planet, humans, nature spirits, stones are becoming more crystalline. And I'm not saying that every stone is going to become a crystal stone, but the energy frequency of each stone is rising. So there's a lot happening right now, and it is a real shift for us. And you and I were talking before we got started about how, like, I've been needing to take lots of naps, and
Yeah.
One of my friends pointed out, she goes, well, as the crystalline energies on the planet are continuing to rise, our energy bodies have to adjust. And in order to adjust, we have to allow ourselves to rest. And we have to keep on staying super grounded. And we have to keep on staying in our hearts and watch our shadow self, the shadow voices. But we're all in the midst of this, which is where coming from the heart, dropping to the heart, connecting with Mother Gaia's heart, and doing our inner healing work is just critical.
Yeah. I was reading your book on the plane. And there was a chapter that I just loved, the title, and I can't remember exactly, but it was like, I'm not doing well, but I'm not dying. Right. This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
mother saying, I'm not dying. Don't,
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy.
Yeah,
I'm not dying.
I'm not happy, but I'm not dying. That was in the first book, Messages from Earth Mother, because yeah, so many people. Sorry, I'm probably cutting you off there. Go ahead. Why don't you finish?
No, not at all. I think your message is so positive, and the message coming forth from Mother is so positive. I know that many people look at the destruction that has happened and just the, kind of wanton mess that we've made here, and think, how could Mother possibly love us? I mean, that, because there's that belief for a lot of people that humanity is a cancer on this planet, right? And
Yeah, that's really sad that so
yeah,
many people believe that. Yeah, let me really speak to that, because Mother loves us incredibly deeply, and she understands how it is that we got so off track, that we fell into these ways that have been so destructive. And the fact of the matter is that when you think about it, and this is part of what she said in that message, I'm not happy, but I'm not dying, is she's ancient. The planet is 4.8 billion years, give or take 100 million, whatever. And the truth of the matter is, honestly, that the planet's been through far worse before than what's been happening with our current industrial age and capitalistic systems that are so imbalanced. And I have to say that they always love it when I give them some airtime. I love Sasquatch. And Sasquatch have come in and asked me to be a messenger for them also, but it was a little bit too out there for me. I said, I can't really do that, you guys, but I will help you however I can. And I just interviewed a really interesting man who's a Sasquatch communicator, contactee, they call themselves. And he has downloaded hundreds of messages from Sasquatch, and they're available in books on Amazon, on the internet, and other websites. And it's called Sasquatch Messages to Humanity. And it started out with first 50 messages, and then there's another book with more, and there are 3 books. And so I interviewed him for a webinar back in June. And one of the things that I learned from Sasquatch that Mother didn't tell me directly, but I kept on asking Mother when I was reading these messages, is this accurate? And Mother's like, yes, this is true. Is that when I've been making reference to the denser energies, how the humans kind of fell by the wayside, we have been so influenced by extraterrestrials who have never had Mother Gaia and what is the planet's divine plan in mind as something to support. They've come here to Earth to harvest minerals, to control us. It's been really a mess. And if you read the Sasquatch messages to humanity, or you start to get a sense of the history, because it's an elder Sasquatch who's giving the messages to this Canadian man named Sunbow True Brother. And it's been for millions and millions of years, all these interactions and explosions, and even nuclear explosions on the surface of the planet, long before humans even evolved. So the truth of the matter is that the planet's been through far worse. And that's part of the reason that we've had to go through a couple of iterations of different planetary caretakers, because they just got so exhausted. And it was time for another one to come in so the other one could go off to rehab. There are actual rehab stations in the universal realms where spiritual beings can go for healing. It's quite remarkable and kind of mind-blowing what has happened to Earth over millions and millions of years, which our history doesn't touch.
Yeah, it's incredible. I attended that seminar with the Sasquatch because it
Ah,
was
good
new
for
to
you.
me as well.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. David says, every day I ask Mother Gaia and my team to guide me, transform me, so that every desire, intention, thought, word, action, and reaction become in alignment with love. That sounds right on. I mean, that's a good thing to ask.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful affirmation every day. And I love what I can't read her name.
Nicole.
Nicole.
Mhm.
Nicole felt the love. That's wonderful, Nicole. I would love to have the sense, speaking of love, of how many other people really felt that energy, Mother's heart energy coming in.
Can I ask you, what does it feel like to you? Because I know, for me, there's a very specific pattern of almost goosebumps that I get, what they call like spiritual tingles.
Uh-huh.
How does it manifest in your body?
Um, you mean when I feel her love or when
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
her energy coming in because she wants me to give a message, or it's
Oh,
different? I
both.
mean, I guess I'll answer all of the above. Well, right now, my heart just feels so open and flowing. Um, it's like I feel Mother just emanating from my heart toward everyone who's here, even though I can't see you all. You're here, you're part of the sacred circle. So there's that. When she wants to really speak through me, I go into this, well, you might have seen it a little. I go into this altered state where there's this calm that comes in, and it's like bliss. I feel a bliss. And it's just the most beautiful love that's a different quality than what I'm feeling right now, that's emanating from my heart. And often when I'm talking with someone and they say something that Mother really likes, I'll get ripples of energy through me. It's like goes up and down my spine. That's always a confirmation. I will also get tingles at times. It just, they're different sort of shifts of experiences I have. It's funny because right now Mother's really beaming. She's loving that all of you are here tonight with her. I want to speak to something actually, just it maybe sound like a technicality, but it hopefully isn't. Is a lot of people refer to nature as Earth Mother, but nature is the way I define it. Nature is what has been evolving on our planet from the very first cell that evolved in water. And Mother is an actual spiritual being. Her energy, when she comes in as our planetary caretaker, is infused in all of nature.
Mhm.
But I don't consider her the same as nature.
That's
That makes sense.
it makes
Yeah.
it makes total sense because I think you were saying earlier when we were speaking that she is a vast being, a vast spiritual being, right? That
Oh, she's huge.
encompasses.
Yeah. Yeah. And she will at some point leave Earth and continue on her journey to whatever her next role is, too. I mean, these are really, really ancient beings.
Mm.
I would love it if anybody else had any other questions.
Yeah, go ahead and type them, or just raise your hand if you want to ask something, or just talk about how you experience this. I would love to have it be a conversation. But and in the meantime, maybe you could talk about the global grid processes that you do, especially the
Oh,
house
yeah.
goddesses is coming up.
Yeah, happy to do that. This was one of the assignments from Mother. And it came out of there's a Tibetan prophecy that when 1,000 goddesses or Tibetan Taras unite, this will shift the tone of our sacred earth from fear to compassion.
Mm.
And I first read about this prophecy on Facebook back in late fall of 2015. And a wonderful woman who most people may know already, whose name is not going to come forward to me right now. She's the founder of Tree Sisters. She uses this Tibetan prophecy as an invitation to raise money to reforest the planet, basically. And Mother absolutely adores her work completely, of course. But as soon as I read that on Facebook from Claire, it's like Claire Dubois, Mother said to me, she goes, and you were going to organize that in the physical. I'm like, what? I said, and you're going to help, right, Mother? Because that's a big job. And she said, of course I will. So we thought, there was a woman that was really interested. I posted on Facebook about this, and we thought, well, we're going to do a weekend retreat. It's going to happen in 2017. That gives us a lot of time to plan it. But then seeing these questions, I'll get to your question in a second there, Donna Lee. Mother woke me up the following summer. It was late July 2016. One of these wake ups at 5 a.m. again, which she's really good at doing. She said, this event, this goddess's grid is going to happen in Washington, D.C. before the elections this fall. So I was like, oh, okay, gulp. All right, Mother, what date? And she, I got up really early. I looked at the calendar for October, and she said that date. It was the third Saturday. And we pulled it off. Because, when Mother has a plan, she really makes it happen, much as I get really stressed out and freak out and all that, because I'm just the simple two-legged who's following through on the projects. So we had a high ceremony on the Washington Mall the third weekend in October 2016. I asked an Ocean High Priestess to come. I recruited all these volunteers. We didn't have 1,000 people who came, 1,000 women, but we invoked more than 1,000 goddesses. And a massive conduit of white light came into the Washington Mall in the middle of the ceremony, right in the middle, in the ground there. It penetrated way down deep. And a couple of gifted light workers saw it come in. And what happened then is it radiated out and cleared all these dense energies from the heart of DC, which meant the White House, the Capitol building, because we were right there on the Washington Mall. And a woman who worked at the Pentagon contacted me a week later and said she had noticed shifts of far less sort of shadow masculine energetics in the Pentagon even, which was part of the radius of energy that circled out and cleared all these denser energies. So that was kind of mind-blowing. And then the same thing happened again in 2018, which was the next event on the Washington Mall. Another conduit of white light came in, and somebody actually videotaped that. I never saw the videotape. I've been trying to get it since, but I haven't been able to access it. But he said, I got it on videotape. I saw it. And then from there, it's evolved into a unified field of ceremonies all around the world. So the invitation is for anybody and everybody to do ceremony. It can be as simple as lighting a candle and calling on the Virgin Mary or Kuan Yin, whoever you want to work with, calling on the Divine Feminine, even inviting the Divine Masculine to be guardians to support you in your ceremony, and join the grid. And it's a unified field that raises the energies on the planet. And the exciting thing is that this fall, we're doing it October 21st. The website is 1000goddesses.net. We are partnering with the Heart Math Institute, and Judy, you know about this, so that they're going to be monitoring this that day on the 21st. We're hoping that most of the ceremonies will start at 12 p.m. Eastern time, which is a reasonable time in Europe. We have a lot of events in Europe that happen, New Zealand, Australia, different parts of the world. But this is one of the ways that we are helping to honestly activate, or amplify is really the word, because it's already activated, an energetic grid around the planet that I was told to call Gaia's Oneness Grid. This particular energy grid around the planet is the one that we humans have responsibility for helping to keep amplified, keep raising the energy around the planet. And there's an activation you can do that's on my website. So all of this is on the Great Mother Love Way website. And you can go directly to the 1000 Goddesses Gathering website too. So, so I hope that answers your questions about the 1000 Goddesses. I would love to, okay, I would love to speak to Donna Lee's question. And I think somebody else had a question that was in the Q&A.
Yeah. a question about how Mother can be separate from the earth and what happens when she leaves. You know, when you transition caretakers on the planet.
Yeah, okay. So how can the mother be separate from the earth? What happens when she leaves? It's a really significant energetic process. And this I wasn't going to say this before, but it's coming forward to say right now. Our current Mother Gaia actually just stepped into her role in a very significant way in the past 6 or 7 years. The former mother, who I call Earth Mother, and I make the distinction between Mother Gaia and Earth Mother, the former one transitioned out. And as she was transitioning out, this was all being very closely coordinated by spiritual councils. And so what was happening as she was transitioning out was some other powerful spiritual beings were stepping in very briefly to take on her role during this sort of interim phase. I hope that answers your question. I mean, how can the mother be separate from the earth? It really is. It's so complicated, actually, how these spiritual councils work. There's actually a spiritual council called the Star Elders, who are made up of beings from all around the universe who have been coordinating evolution here on Earth from the get-go. They have known full on from the very beginning that Earth was always meant to be a planet of really high spiritual consciousness. And this kept on getting blocked and deterred and thrown aside, off track, because of these denser actions of these extraterrestrials. And so when there is a transition, it's very closely coordinated by these spiritual councils, and it doesn't leave a void at all.
Donna Lee asked about a being called Sanat Kumara. Are you familiar with that being?
You know, I've gotten this question before, and I already know the answer is, okay, what I'm hearing mothers say right now is Sanat Kumara was not a planetary caretaker, but a very high level spiritual being that has been part of the Earth's sort of spiritual teams. It's it's so complicated. We have Mother Gaia, we have Guy, Mother's partner now. We also have a Father Earth who's separate from Guy. There are grandmother councils and grandfather councils here within the Earth's multidimensional realms that are spiritual beings. The list goes on and on and on. So from what I understand, Sanat Kumara is one of those spiritual beings, but was not ever a planetary caretaker.
Good, thank you. Tara wants to know, she said, I am one of those Taras. I love Claire and her work. Claire from Tree Sisters. I'm in this, what I'll call a self-torture loop, where I'm beating myself up for not doing enough or being enough. But it sounds like just sitting in love and honoring all the creation and just being in gratitude is the work. What would it take for me to know that's enough for all of us to know? Which is just such a wonderful question. I think that you're not alone. You're not.
No.
It's really, people can get really disheartened and think, oh, there's so much to do and we feel like we're not doing enough.
Yeah, okay. Everything starts from within. And when we allow ourselves, open up to the fullest capacity of love and gratitude within ourselves, then we'll be guided from there as to how to direct our actions. But it's that the purest energy within. If we can source from that, then whatever we do to express ourselves as ways to plant more trees or invest in companies that are incredibly regenerative, economy oriented, it's just a multitude of things we can do. But the most important thing is we do it from that place within of love. And again, connection to Mother Gaia's love, supported by her love, supported by your spirit team's love. That's where the energy, because let me finish one thought. That's where we are the most effective. And that's also a reminder that we all are inherently in a grid. You know, the human matrix, and there's the movie The Matrix and all that, which has an interesting name to it. We exist within these fields of energy, and we all are being invited. And the term I use is to be luminous love nodes, you know, just to be embodying the love and the forgiveness and the kindness. And there are going to be times it's going to be hard. There's going to be times the woundedness comes up, and we just have to keep on working through it, forgiving and loving ourselves, and knowing and remembering how much we are loved. So I hope, Tara, that helps you. Again, Mother keeps on saying self-compassion, kindness, gentleness, and just to know how powerful we are as luminous love nodes.
I love that. And that's part of our evolution, really, to be able to maintain that level of vibration, right?
Completely.
Lynn says, I've never heard that Gaia has a divine masculine partner. That's new to me too. I kind of love that, which makes sense to me, to have the divine balance between masculine and feminine. Can you speak more about Gaia?
He came from the same planet as Mother Gaia. He is an incredibly powerful guardian. You can call on him and ask him to be part of your spirit team, along with calling on Mother Gaia. He sits on a number of spiritual councils with Mother that are always moving forward with this evolutionary process of the new earth energetics and coordination of all these really complicated energetics. Some can see him. Apparently, he's getting kind of bigger and bigger and stronger looking for those who can see him. I don't see so much. I feel and I hear. He's loving that we're talking about him right now, because he would love for everybody to know about him. I hope that I can't really say a lot more because I work more with Mother Gaia, but I keep on reminding myself to, and I always call on Gaia too. But Mother is the more direct connection that I have.
Good. Thank you. Julie wants to know, why have powerful beings like Mother and other high-level spiritual beings not been able to stop the interference of the dark extraterrestrials that have held us in this denser energy? Why would they be able to stop these negative beings now?
That's a really good set of questions. In the past, it's been an onslaught. That's the word I'm hearing to use. And what's happening currently is Earth is receiving a huge amount of support. And as I mentioned before, from all sorts of planetary systems, different groups that are within the universal realms, angelic groups, the list goes on, because this is the time for Earth to reach full ascension. And so many of these beautiful ones off planet are committed to us fully achieving this, and we definitely will, because when we really achieve it here, it's going to ripple out and support all of them. The ascension energetics are going to ripple out into the whole universe. And the question about why Mother and other high-level beings have not been able to stop the interference, you know, I don't know if I really have a good answer for that, other than what I just said. And I'm tuning in a little bit more on this. These extraterrestrial ones are highly sophisticated. You know, they have technologies that are highly advanced. And it's been an ongoing struggle for millions and millions of years. And it's, you know, Star Wars is not that off base. That's the best way I can answer that. You know, it's actually interesting because I'm hearing right now, don't dwell so much on these denser beings. Dwell on your hearts in love and knowing how powerful, realizing, stepping into how powerful you are. That is really where our energies are meant to go. Otherwise, we get distracted. And I do see that somebody else did ask a question, who are the extraterrestrials? I can't even begin to answer that question. It's so many different groups.
Yeah.
You know, it's so many different groups. But again, I don't want to give you that much airtime, to give them that much airtime.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Elizabeth wants to know, she says, please tell us more about this time that we're in that was predicted by the Native American elders, this time for healing. There are a number of Native American prophecies around this time.
Oh, there are many, many. Okay. Well, there are different ways that it's characterized in different prophecies, and I'm not an expert on all the prophecies. The Hopi one is one that gets circulated often about jumping into the middle of the river and seeing who's swimming around you and bond with them, join with them. You know, that this is the time that everything must be done in a sacred way, from a place of ceremony. There are prophecies that speak to this being a time of great cleansing, which is really needed, actually. And one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that many of the really big storms that we experience are not just due to climate change and the rising of CO2 levels, they're due to the elementals, the nature spirits who are in charge of the weather. And there's some really powerful ones who are in charge of the weather. They have their plans to come in and clear the dense energies, because we humans have gotten really good for too long at just wallowing in denser energies, despair, fear. And so it takes a really good storm to clear the energies out. And that is partly what has been going on. I'm not going to say that's 100% why the weather has been as strong as it has been, but they are meant to keep on increasing, to keep on clearing the energies. And it's really also messages to us humans to change our ways.
Yeah. I love that. I love that framing. And I love, one of we had someone on that was talking about dealing with fire from like wildfires to Kundalini, that fire energy. And he's a volunteer firefighter in Colorado. And one of the things that I just love is that when they go out to fight a brush fire, he tells all of his people, all of his volunteers, that the very first thing you're going to do when you go out to fight this fire is to say hello. Just say hello and know that you are working with an intelligence, right? I thought that one simple act, it just felt transformative to me, to know that you're connected and okay, we're in this dance together.
Yeah, and I would even take it a step further and send the fire love.
Yeah.
They're called salamanders in English. That's the name for the fire spirits, salamanders. Mm-hmm. And they need as much love as the water elementals or air or the trees or other humans. All the fear that's projected on them is not serving. And it's a really tough dynamic, because it's obviously you're going to be pretty terrified if your house is in the path of a huge fire. And the fires are, again, a way of cleansing, but they're also due to the great imbalance. Yeah. The dominant wounded masculine energies have created a lot of imbalance that the elementals are just trying to deal with. And fire is one of the symptoms, shall we say, of that imbalance.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And what you said about, we've gone so far into density and into fear, right? And despair that it seems like that is the normal that people reference. It's kind of normal to be fear-based, at least in our Western cultures. I don't know so much about, other cultures on the planet, but it seems to be that just fear is everywhere. And it's one of the things, one of the practices to really be in compassion, to really be grounded to the earth, to really connect with Gaia is helping to release the density of that fear
Mhm.
on the planet.
Yeah. And fear is contagious,
Yes.
you know. And again, we have our own human emotional field of energy. So when we're in the midst of the pandemic, we were taking in, especially us really sensitive ones, empathic ones, we were taking in the emotional energy of all who are in the field.
Mm.
And this is one of the ways I actually love, one of the reasons I really love the Heart Math Institute. And because they help you learn simple meditations to drop to your heart, to send love to your heart, to shift yourself out of the monkey mind, chaotic, fear, denser energies that we can really get caught up in. And I said this to Roland McCready, who's the director of research for Heart Math. I said, you know, Mother Gaia really loves your work, everything the Heart Math Institute is doing, but she really wishes you would teach people to connect with her heart too, and not just with our own hearts, you know. But obviously that's not what they're set up to do, but that would be nice.
Oh, but I think it's a
Yeah.
nice suggestion, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well,
definition of the word.
if you want to spread that with your circles there, please do.
Yeah. You know, so this is what they're going to be doing is monitoring the global coherence as part of the Global Coherence Initiative, right? They have
Yes.
sensors all over the planet, and they can detect changes in the field when large numbers of people are meditating or sending out energy, you know, positive or negative, but in this case, in the Thousand Goddess Gathering, it would be positive. So it's actually part research study as well.
Yeah. And just to put it out there, they're looking for more, Heart Math Institute is looking for more citizen scientists. Mostly for people who are outside the country, but if you live in LA and New York, they're looking to create bigger clusters. But you can go to their website and find out more. I'm not going to talk about that here, really. But it's really an amazing opportunity to be partnering with them, because people have been contacting me over the past few years after the global grid happened. A couple of days later, I would get an email from a total stranger in Germany saying, I need to know who you are because I'm still kind of feeling the energy. And it's been absolutely amazing since the global grid weekend. So something happens, you know, and we call on the spirit teams. I mean, that's the thing, is that when ceremony is done in a good way, and we call on Kuan Yin and we call on the Virgin Mary, and when we call on them, they come in and they really raise the energy. And this is the invitation that Mother's saying to all of us, is call on the spirit teams. You know, they're here to help. They're waiting for you to ask them. So this is a glorious weekend of ceremonies all over the world, and I hope everyone listening will join.
Yeah. So
And there was another question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm going to put out information on the FMBR newsletter, so you guys will know
That would be great.
where to register. There was
And I
another
do actually.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, let me first say this, that I want to thank Judy, you and your foundation, because you guys have chosen to be sponsors for the Thousand Goddesses Gathering Global Grid, which is really, really wonderful. This is a labor of love. So anyone else who would like to donate or be a sponsor, please go to the website and contact me. So somebody asked, have I heard about man-made storms and weather modification, weather wars, directed energy weapons? Thank you for your understanding if I don't want to go there, but I will say, yes, that is a reality. These things are happening, and it's really, this is where Mother's kind of shaking her head right now. She's saying it's human arrogance. You know, it's human arrogance, hubris, to think that we know more than the intelligences within the natural realms about how weather is supposed to be working, because we're playing with fire. And it's, you know, and that's, and she just said, that's enough. That's all that needs to be said about that. That's enough.
I mean, I think we're seeing
But
a
it
lot of
needs to stop.
outpicturing of that, a lot of outpicturing of humanity's hubris, and
Mhm.
what we're and we are shifting that with our connection to Gaia, with our really staying in that heart energy. So
Yeah, and one thing I haven't really talked about too much, which is really important, and this is one thing that the indigenous peoples never forgot for the most part, is humility.
mhm,
Recognizing that we're one in this vast web, the circle of life, the web of life, the sacred hoop. We are no more powerful at all. And it's time for us to shed our egos. The human ego is not been serving. So,
yeah, exactly. Well, I think we have answered all of the questions that were there. Wait,
there's
uh,
one more.
Elizabeth says, I've heard that many ETs involved with Earth are well-meaning and helpful. Is this true, or are all ETs here ill-intentioned? And,
Uh,
whoever posed the question about the weather war says, thank you for going there.
yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, I think there
This
are
was
positive ETs, right?
Oh, there definitely are many positive ETs, many, many positive ETs. And they're a significant part of the teams who are helping us right now here on Earth.
Yeah.
And I'll share this piece. I heard this actually from a Lakota elder, that there are Arcturian ones who are monitoring very, very closely all the nuclear armaments on Earth and preventing any of them from getting activated. This is one example of ETs that are serving Mother Gaia, serving our new Earth, and helping us humans not be as stupid as we could be, basically. That's just one example. There's so many ways they're helping us. I don't even know most of Mother knows. Mother and her councils know them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much going on the spirit realms. It's just, if we really, I don't even understand very much of it, other than knowing there are council meetings all the time, there are decisions being made, there are spiritual beings coming in. It's huge, and it's really, really exciting to be alive at this time, as hard as it may be. So one
And our,
last thing I do want to share.
okay,
Oh no, you go, Jude.
I was just gonna say, our job is to stay in the heart, really, and to connect with Mother Earth, and stay in gratitude and honor and praise.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'll end with this one thing. When I was asked by Mother to write the Messages from Mother Earth, Mother book, she gave to me one day the assignment to write her love directives, her commandments, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do that? But she got me up. I couldn't even go to bed that night. She said, you got to stay up and you're going to do ceremony and get out a pad of paper and a pen. But one of her love directives, one of 13 of them, and then there are precepts too, is celebrate life every day. And so I have been waking up in the morning and affirming that this is a good day to celebrate.
Mm.
So bringing that joy and that fun energy is so important. As hard as it is when we're really struggling, it's hard at those times, and yet there's always something to find gratitude about and something to celebrate. And so this is a wonderful practice. Other spiritual teachers talk about this, but Mother's really clear on this. Celebrate life. You're meant to be celebrating life.
Mm. I love that. Okay, one last question. This is the last one.
Okay.
Julie wants to know, is there a timeline for ascension? Are there any important dates for humanity's process?
Oh boy. Things are evolving and shifting every moment of every day. We're so used to TikTok in our culture. I can't really answer that question other than to say that I have a very gifted friend who works very closely with the dolphins and the whales, Linda Shea Naya. Maybe some of you in this group have heard of her. She's really a dolphin ambassador. And she was given the information by the dolphins and the whales that we're looking at about 150 years for Earth to really arrive at full ascension. Now, don't take that as set in stone. It could be sooner, but a lot of it depends on us humans and how quickly we're going to be able to wake up and heal. And there's a key part to this, and I don't want to sound too pessimistic with this, is that the Earth is going to reach ascension with or without the humans.
Right.
You know, it's on the way. Mother Gaia is doing everything she can to bring us along, to help us be in the midst of the process, supporting the process, and fully proactively joining in with all the other beautiful beings here on Earth that are really en route. So, and doing it in a way that celebrates life. There we have it.
I love it. Yes. Fantastic. Well, I really want to thank you for being, I know you're on the East Coast, so it's later for you. Thank you for being here this late. And thank you everyone for joining. Blessings to all. Remember to connect with Mother Gaia and to send love and to celebrate life. And we will see you next time. Thank you, Mare.
Thank you. Thank you. Lots of love. Bye.
Love to all.